welcome to Moral High Ground. Where I talk about what's morally right, or what may be morally right, and definitely what's morally right to you. Anyway, so today I'm talking about a video where they're talking about the tiny homes. And, I talked about the tiny homes, just a small bit, and some, experiences I had with being around them. Because I have walked by them in the area when they put them in. It just is not a good thing. But in some cases it works for some people that are in these tiny homes. So, and ultimately I think they're wrong for elderly people, because there's a lot of elderly homeless people and some that can't walk and stuff. I think they all need places where they can be seen medically wise. Anyway, let's get into this video. So this video, like I said, it's going to be talking about the tiny villages, as they call them. This is Portland Homeless Shelter Village. And it's not a shelter village, it's chaos. But here's what this video is talking about. They're talking about how people feel about it. In the way I've been explaining before in the past, in other videos where I say, well, this is what happens. All these other homeless people come around the tiny village and, they harass people, take over the neighborhood. To destroy things and stuff. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this video is because I've already showed what one situation happened with a shelter in North Portland, and what happened to the neighborhood, but the neighbors are tired and wanting to move out. And then how this slowly, the new shelter that was made, just a night shelter, caused chaos all of a sudden in the area where it was just put within a week or two ago. And now this is another place, and we're going to hear what the neighbors think. And it's your opinion to tell me, how you would think of it in comments.
Tight-knit community in the heart of Southwest Portland.
And it just had a small town feel.
The area has always been one of the premier neighborhoods in the city.
But longtime neighbors Patrick Brunette and David Carney Fenton worry about the future.
So it's been a big change.
All thanks to the Multnomah Safe Rest Village, these 100 tiny homes for homeless people. It opened about 3 years ago.
You see satellite camp.
Let's go back a bit. Let's look at this. Let's look at it from, I want to say eye on view or sky high. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. But what word I'm trying to use to pronounce it. But just look at it from this point of view. Okay? These homes are tiny as hell. This is like storage, tough shed storage you would put on your property to put your tools, your little lawnmower equipment and all that. And so, not saying there's nothing wrong with a tough shed housing. They actually got bigger ones if you look on the website. Ones that could actually look like homes. They got some that look like homes and they're way more bigger than this. Now, here's the thing with these tiny homes. There's no bathrooms. This is exactly what you see. It's just a place to go sleep in. It's actually quite sad in a way, because it's not a place that should be sold for people. But yes, I say it might be convenient for those that are. Now, I'll say it can be convenient for those who just got kicked out of the house and they need a place, and they're not on drugs, and they're homeless and they just want a spot until they can get out their feet. That can be a little convenient for them. It's good here, they got this little shelter, and then the rest of their money could probably go into putting stuff in storage and going back to it and things like that. I can see those type of homeless people preoccupying it, and it'd be just a small time stay, not a forever stay. No one should be able to stay in something this tiny and survive, for a long time. But the problem is you'll get homeless people that's been out there for 15 years more and actually enjoy staying outside instead of staying inside, because let's be honest, no one wants to pay bills all the time or rent or anything like that. But that's the thing, this is the way our world is, unless the government wants to stretch that and actually make things free like they tell everybody in every country. This is the home of the free, the land of whatever, okay? But yeah, this is bad for elderly people, if you ask me. That's the main people I see a problem with this, because there's people with wheelchairs, and I've seen tons of them. There's a guy I see all the time down the street with a wheelchair, and he doesn't even look that old, like he's younger than me type of thing, and he's homeless in the wheelchair. And there's several people like that, old and young, So this wouldn't work for somebody like that that's got some kind of back issue or leg problems, and they need medical facilities for these type of homeless people, I believe. But anyway, back to this.
A Safe Rest Village. These 100 tiny homes for homeless people.
Oh shoot, I wanted to stop it in there because let me see what's in there.
100 tiny.
So look at this. So here's what they got. It looks like this is a heater, okay, because you got the air conditioner up there. So let's say summertime, you got this thing going. You know, winter, you got this going. This is an electrical box. Looks like you have 2 plugs right here in this area, and a fire hydrant type of, or fire extinguisher. I don't know why I said fire hydrant. A fire hydrant. Oh, let's hook up a hose to it. But that's what you got. And this prison bed, pretty much a jail bed type of thing. Pretty crappy spot. You know, maybe you can, I don't know how big this side is, but I'm just thinking maybe it's a little bit more space, but there's not a lot of room. And let's see, my main concern, and it shouldn't be my main concern, I'm not, the leader of any kind of corporation or anything like that, but as a humanitarian concern, is, like I said, elderly people that might want to try to take this situation on. It would have to be someone, like I said, who just lost their spot and, home or whatever, and they need a spot for now. And that would be their home for until they're able to get back on their feet. It's the best way I can think of. And I don't know I don't believe these homeless villages charge anything, but I believe there's some rules you have to follow and engage with to be able to stay there. And even that's good. So, what's that?
Homes for homeless people. It opened about 3 years ago.
We see satellite camping, we see drug use and drug sales.
It's low barrier, meaning people don't have to be sober to stay there.
So there's the problem right there. I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm thinking about homeless, the elderly people and stuff like this. But now that changes the scenario again. It's like, whoa, so now it's low barrier, which means you do drug-free zone. Another drug-free zone with homeless people. The biggest problem is there's drugs. So you have to make it, a safe zone. It's like, not drug-free. Well, yeah, drug-free zone. You can't make it a, free-for-all to do drugs. You gotta make it a free-for-all not to do drugs. I'm confusing myself. but still, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem, is that they're on drugs. And so they don't care and they go crazy. So you don't need a place that allows people to do drugs. That's a better way of saying it.
And we're also adjacent to a K through 8 school.
Chris, who struggled.
See, that's crazy. It's even more crazy. You're gonna put it's even more crazy. You're gonna put the place right next to a grade school. That's nuts, man. I don't even care about kids' safety again. Kids are the main priority of safety, especially at a pre-K school. That's dangerous. That's like sacrificing children. I know that's a norm. That's big time, far out reaching, but still, you have no idea what people with an unstable mind can do.
Struggles with addiction and didn't want to show his face on camera, has been staying there since the start.
For me personally, it's given me an opportunity to stabilize my life.
Previously, Chris was living on the streets for 4 years.
You're in a constant state of survival, and it's just a lot harder to make good decisions.
Now, he tells me, he's on his way to permanent housing and sobriety.
There's no way I would have been able to do that being on the street,
Despite Chris's success, neighbors still have ongoing concerns with the site's model, including the noise, bright lights, and what appears to be a lack of security, they say.
See, this is the lights. So this is a neighborhood. It isn't just like some area. But the lights they just showed, that's like lights you would put in like a military bunker base or whatever, or even a prison.
Model, including the noise, bright lights.
Look at these lights. So at night these are popping off. Bright lights. Yeah, hell no, you can't sleep in a place like that. Especially if, maybe the people with the shelter could. But no.
And what appears to be a lack of security, they say.
There's screaming, threats, fights that happen inside the SRV that people can hear all hours of the night.
Low barrier just doesn't belong in a residential neighborhood, and there's got to be a solution to that.
The site was previously managed by Multnomah County, but in July, the city of Portland took control. The city chose the California-based group Urban Alchemy to run it. That group also runs several...
So that's the other place I was talking about. So Urban Alchemy is the name of the place. I knew it was something Alchemy. Urban Alchemy is the other company that they got now. Brand new to the city, who focus mainly on trying to rehabilitate homeless people back into society by giving them jobs. This guy here was probably homeless at one time, and now he works for this company because there's certain people who I know that became part of this company, and one of them or two of them were homeless at one time. That's a good idea. Put them back in the workforce and make them deal with people that they're used to dealing with, that they can, say, hey man, you can make a change, I'll do it too. Be a beacon of light, a motivation for other people. And that's a good thing. But for neighbors in this neighborhood, it's a bad thing. But look at this for a minute. This is a lot of freaking tiny homes. This is no joke. This is a serious situation we're dealing with here. And like I said, it's just not good for elderly people and stuff.
Similar shelters across Portland.
It's hard to get a hold of them.
A spokesperson for the city of Portland tells KGW our engagement team is very involved with the MSRV neighborhood. There's a few issues we are working through with the neighborhood association and their community advisory committee. Mayor Keith Wilson has a goal of opening 1,500 new shelter beds by December 1st.
The mayor's plan is going to be successful if the neighbors and the neighborhoods that these shelters are situated in are comfortable with them and feel like there's responsiveness. And so far, we haven't really been feeling that.
So the reason why they don't feel that, what he's trying to say, because he's saying responsiveness, and he's trying to say it in certain ways because he's in front of a camera. But let's just be real. Communication is key. You have to have great communication with the people who not just run this shelter thing, but the people who living in these things. I thought about it before. The homeless people need a representative. They need someone to represent them because of so many laws and things that will be put against them, and at the same time, their fate is always given up to whatever the city says. It's just kind of like moving prisoners is what they are. Like once you're in prison, you're a person of the state. I can't even remember how you say that. I can't even say a client of the state. You're a prisoner of the state, whatever. Okay, you have to do what the state tells you to do inside the prison. The state rules, that's what it is. So that's what the homeless people are putting themselves in the same thing, but freely roaming across the city. They're state-owned people that walk around, and the state decides how they sleep, what they do, and what they can't do. And so the homeless people need a representative. They need someone to sit out there and say, hey, these are people, they have rights. We need to figure out how to fix this. Let's change things. Without a representative, they're constantly going to be attacked or used as leverage. That's what they really are being used as, leverage for money to come in to help that's not getting used to help. And all that's questionable. All of it.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Urban Alchemy tells us, we're proud of our partnership with the city of Portland at this site. Our team works every day to provide a Four Seasons-like experience for our guests, and we take pride in ensuring a clean and safe site both inside and the immediate vicinity. We will work closely with the city to address any issues that arise. Okay, those neighbors you just heard from tell me they're now working to band together with other neighborhood associations dealing with similar issues to try and hold the city accountable, they say. Now, if this story sounds familiar, that's because it is. Low barrier shelters like this one are opening in neighborhoods across the city.
So, now she's going to go back to a couple other places I talked about in the past couple weeks. And how, once again, low barrier, which just means drug use, drug use zone. Okay, pretty much. Let's just knock this weird language out that's confusing me and everyone else. Low barrier means they can do drugs. Okay? That's what it means.
As part of the mayor's plan to end unsheltered homelessness by December 1st. Last week we told you about safety issues surrounding the Moore Street shelter in North Portland. Before that, community concerns surrounding the Northrop shelter in the Pearl District. And despite this neighborhood pushback, the mayor remains steadfast on his goal to open 1,500 emergency overnight shelter beds by December 1st. At last check, he's at 630. But let's talk about Urban Alchemy. That's the group the city puts in charge of running many of the tiny homes.
So Urban Alchemy is new to Portland, but oh man, I gotta tell you, it's just so horrible. It's a terrible thing that people's lives are being played with for money, and not just in this situation with the homeless, but in general, people being used for money all the time. People's just, I don't want to get off topic and doing some stupid rant, but people's sick mental thoughts. Oh, I'll give you this if you do this type of thing. And people fall for it. This is why we end up with so many sick things that happen to people. And it's not great. This is transforming the energy and, you know what I'm saying, all this in urban spaces, yada yada. Okay? I want to say something, but I'm thinking, that's why I'm on camera. I'm supposed to say something, but I believe this place is semi-trying, but don't trust things, especially when you got a logo, when you got the all-seeing eye right here. And it's like, I'm not going into conspiracy theories with it, but there's a reason for things. There's a message between the message, within the message, inside the message, okay? And that's what's happening right here. There's some messages going on that you don't know about. Let's hear her talk about this agency.
Across the city. According to recent reporting by the Oregonian, Urban Alchemy is being accused of overspending hundreds of thousands of dollars in one city and fudging data in another. It's an article that we think is worth your time.
Now you see, there's the one that, let's see, go back a bit. So what you have here, I'm gonna go back again. Dang it, how can you get it right on that? Crap, let's see.
Accused of overspending hundreds of thousands of dollars in one city and fudging data in another. It's an article.
Right there. So, yeah, I'm going to go on what she said in a second. What you see here is what the governor was trying to do in Portland. This is a tent shelter area. And so what they'll do is they'll take pallets and stuff, and what you got these little markers around the little square areas, that's supposed to be where people are supposed to stay. And it's the same rules as the shelter you've seen a minute ago, where it's like little tough sheds everywhere. But the difference is these tent little areas, they like, people can pick up and go. If they're not there by a certain time, they can't put their tent there. They can't live there or something. At the same time, though, the way the mayor wanted to do it here in Portland was she wanted to put pallets down. And if y'all don't know what pallets is, they use them in warehouses to take a large sums, let's say, boxes of Coca-Cola or something, and you stack them all on this pallet, and you wrap it around with some stuff, and you ship it, But most people use pallets for damn near anything. It's like $1 million industry, pallets, believe it or not. Just a whole bunch of wood tacked to a 2x4 so they can use it to help ship stuff with forklifts. It's a lot of talking about nothing. But anyway, that's what it is. So this was the governor's plan. I don't know if I said mayor, but this is the governor's plan when she originally became governor of Oregon, was to make this look like this and put pallets down and have people attach their tents to pallets so they'd be able to live there for a minute and then they move on and someone else comes in. But you have to be there a certain time every day so you can keep the same residents. Pretty positive this guy with the big tent here probably has been there for a minute. Supposedly most of these people here, because their tents look like they've been there for a second. But now let's get back to what she was saying about this agency here. We'll go back a little further one more time. Biggity bam.
Across the city. According to recent reporting by the Oregonian, Urban Alchemy is being accused of overspending hundreds of thousands of dollars in one city and fudging data in another. It's an article that we think is worth your time.
So that right there proves my point once again. You can't trust these agencies. You can't. There's no one safe. None of these agencies, none of these places, or doing what's right. How can you lose $100,000? How can you fudge records and stuff to get something out of it? I mean, what the hell? You see what I'm saying? This is why I say the homeless people need a representative of their own. Then hell, maybe the representatives all could take money and find a way to get them all out of the city and living right. You know, find them little houses, a nice little town, whatever. And in all good sense, and all what's right, helping the people, homeless people, any people, shouldn't be something where it's taken lightly. But human life, I believe to most people, doesn't truly mean nothing. The only thing that matters is their own selfish needs and desires and their survival. Because I've seen what happens when people are dead. The way they destroy, just like the way humans treat a dead body. And I'll tell you, the human species is a sick creature. It's the most demented creature on the whole globe. Wicked, okay? Just straight up cold. And this is just the proof of it. The homelessness and just treating everybody like shit, straight up cold. And the things they do to each other, if they got the opportunity, it's crazy. I'm gonna find this. I have this clip a friend sent me, and he was trying to. I don't know why he sent it to me, because I guess because at the time I was doing on my other channel, I was doing a thing where I was saying send me clips and stuff. I said it for a small time. Some people did, some didn't. Some stuff I could use, some I can't, because I copyright with music. You can't use it. And I've tried, but it's just copyrights. Copyrights is what YouTube does. They copyright everything. And man, this video tripped me out. I was like, thing he sent me, there's this girl and she's like, do anything to me, my body, and she's supposed to be art. And the thing about it is so corrupt. I mean, for like an hour or so, I don't know how many hours it was. I had to find the video so you know what I'm talking about. And she's standing there in this art gallery, and everyone just starts doing things to her. Some walk up, hit her in the face, slap her. Some desecrate on her. Some straight up try to sexually assault her. Others do all kinds of just so many things they did to this girl. And she allowed it to happen. But the thing about it is, all these people weren't scripted to do these things. They did exactly what they wanted to do. If there was a woman butt naked standing in the middle of the room saying, do what you want to me. Yeah, it's just insane. But it shows you that people aren't all in the same right mind. Everyone's individual mind, individual thoughts are different. And even though you think you're dealing with someone with a rational mind, this might be irrational to the point that no one can comprehend the logic of that individual. At the same time, people are foolish to not understand that there is people out there like that, and you never know what someone's capable of. So it's a thing. I'm gonna find that video now I'm talking about, because I just thought about it, because I think about these people are being taken advantage of. There's so many other things. There's also some videos I'm going to review about a situation that's happening across the nation with the homeless people that's not being talked about, and there's actually someone who's making videos about it. So that's another thing I'm talking about. But here, there's a little bit more to this video, and we're going to get to that. Right back to it now.
Here it is. Major homeless services operator in Portland faces loss of funding money mismanagement in other cities. The article says San Francisco officials have accused the company knowingly overspent hundreds of thousands on pay bumps last fiscal year.
She's talking about the company Urban Alchemy.
The excess spending was revealed during a recent San Francisco City Council meeting. Also, in Austin, Texas, where Urban Alchemy runs 2 emergency shelters, city officials there said they are not renewing their contract with Urban Alchemy after staff misreported data on when people were exiting shelters. The article says the city of Portland is aware of these issues and told the Oregonian they have started their own assessment of Urban Alchemy's financial and record-keeping practices. If you want to read more, check it out on OregonLive.com.
So it makes me question something too, because the city of Portland is already being accused of having over 724 million. I know I keep saying this every video, and that's like what's happening with that, and then the 9 billion, I guess that woman said in one episode, that they're putting towards trying to make shelters or something. And now you got this agency called Urban Alchemy, who's known for defrauding for money. Where does it all end? When do these people finally get to say, I feel like a citizen again, I got a place, I feel normal, I got friends, I got whatever. They need a representative. They need someone to oversee that their needs are being addressed. And it's just chaotic, man.
But when it comes to spending in San Francisco, there is apparently controversy over budgeting decisions and cost of living increases tied to the alleged overspending. But when it comes to that bad data in Texas, an Urban Alchemy spokesperson tells me, we identified staff who improperly and without permission misreported homeless management information system exit dates and records. We notified the city after our internal controls discovered the issue and terminated the employees that we identified as responsible.
Okay, so what have we learned here? Like I always say, no one's safe. None of these people have the homeless in their best interest. I'm going to start saying this now, that the homeless people need a representative. They need someone to sit back and safeguard them from people taking advantage of them. They need someone trusting that can actually put the money in their hands and put it to use. Someone that can actually make sure that their food needs are taken care of, maybe their clothing needs, you know. Not just that, but make sure that there's an actual place they can have a bed and, you know, wake up in the morning and don't have to move somewhere else, but be able to stay safe in these places. There's so many different ways of handling the situation that won't affect neighbors and small businesses throughout the city. At the same time, won't be able to have the city use them as a leverage to get more money, some kind of scapegoat out of fucking up the city money. Excuse my language, but it's crazy. I don't know. You tell me, you think this is morally right that another agency's popped up and now they're taking money even though the city's already taking money from the homeless people? This is sad, this is depressing, and it shouldn't be happening. And with that, I'm just saying I'm out. This is too much. It's too bad. Too bad.